This is the 1997 Pontiac Grand Prix, a vehicle with a split personality. It's aimed at those with family commitments, but those that don't want to give up the pleasure of driving a sports car. Have they got the ingredients right? We intend to find out. Power for the GP comes from GM's bulletproof 3.8-litre 3800 Series 2 V6 engine. Horsepower is rated at 195 at 5200 RPM and torque at 230 at 3600. Nudge the gas pedal and the GP moves off smartly because of the early tip in GM favour. Mid and high range performance is also much better than average for a family sedan, albeit one with a decidedly sporty flavour. For the record, the run through the 100k mark takes a tad over 8 seconds. The only box offered is a 4-speed automatic with overdrive. Again, no complaints. The shifts are smooth and the kickdown prompt. The platform features a wheelbase that is 3 inches longer than the previous model. The result is a lot more interior room. The Grand Prix comes one way and that's loaded. Power windows, locks, mirrors, cruise control, auxiliary buttons for the radio and climate control themselves. Very easy to reach, very easy to operate, and they have a nice uniform tactile feel to all of the controls. The other thing they've done in redesigning the interior, all the important information is kept as high up as possible. The result, you can read it relying upon peripheral vision, which allows you to keep your eyes on the road. A couple of very minor quibbles back here. First of all, the very heavy sculpting in the middle of the seat turns this into more of a 2+2 than a true 3-seater. The other thing, you get comfy. My head becomes very intimate with the back glass. Now, in order to avoid that, I have to slouch, and on a long trip, this is not the most comfortable position to be in. The Grand Prix comes with a tyre monitoring system. Now, the system uses the ABS sensors to monitor the rolling radius of each of the tyres. If you begin to get a tyre that's going flat, obviously the rolling radius is going to change. The ABS sensors alert the driver can then check the tyre. It's very simple, very safe, and very clever. Now, usually I'm fairly mild-mannered and things don't get up my nose, but this Grand Prix really did. Every time you put it into park, it locks the doors and you've got to actually unlock it every time somebody wants to get out. Now, yes, you can reprogram it. However, that entails fishing around in here, pulling this lot out, finding a fuse, pulling it out, setting the whole lot up, put the fuse back, put the dash back together again. It just goes on and on. Somebody should come up with a much more user-friendly way of turning this bloody awful system off. The suspension features the usual McPherson struts with coil springs and a stabilizer bar up front, while the rear benefits from a tri-link coil-over strut, again with stabilizer. One of the big areas of improvement is found in the suspension design. It's a lot more supple than the old one, and a lot of the harshness that was a problem with the previous Grand Prix is completely gone. The beauty is that they've achieved this suppleness without sacrificing the handling characteristics, and that, at the best of times, is a very difficult balancing act. Helping the overall feel is GM's MagnaSteer variable assist power steering. Unlike many other systems, this design uses magnetics as well as the usual hydraulics to achieve the desired level of assist. Factor in the longer wheelbase, wider stance, P225 60/16 tyres, and the handling and agility is the equal of the ride comfort. Of particular note is the lack of understeer. It only rears its ugly head if you really start to welly the GP into corners. Stopping power is also much better than before. Mindful of the complaints of past, they have significantly upgraded the design. First, the rotors are heavier, meaning they are less predisposed to warping. The front calipers have also been beefed up. The result is a much stronger pedal feel, one that is completely devoid of the mushiness of old. ABS is standard and function to perfection. Well, that's it for this edition of Test Drive in Montreal. You know, GM have done a great job with the new Grand Prix. It's got grace, it's got space, and thanks to one of the best V6 engines offered anywhere in the world, it's got pace. And it's yours for merely $28,000. So what's the catch? Just looks far too much like the good old Grand Am.